Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be talking about metabolism. Now your metabolism or your metabolic rate is the amount of energy required to keep you alive and also perform the activities that you do on a day-to-day basis. This is sometimes also referred to as your total daily energy expenditure, which is abbreviated to TDEE. Now there's a lot of confusion about metabolism. Some people think that for some reason, their metabolism is slow. Some people think that they did something to their metabolism that now is broken, when that's really not the case. We have a lot more control on our metabolism than we think. Although it is a lot of complex processes happening within the body, any changes to your metabolic rate, either up or down, we can contribute to one of these four things: your basal metabolic rate, or BMR, your NEAT, which stands for non-exercise activity thermogenesis, exercise, or the thermic effect of food. And now we're going to talk about those four different categories and what comes underneath them to hopefully give you a little bit of a better understanding on your metabolic rate and how you can use that to help support your health, fitness, and lifestyle goals. So the first one is your basal metabolic rate, often abbreviated to BMR. Now this is affected by your age, your body weight, the amount of muscle mass you have, also the amount of lean body mass you have. So if you have a lower body fat percentage and a higher amount of muscle mass, also if you have more glycogen and water stored within that muscle mass. And then also weight management. How consistently have you maintained your weight within a range of, let's say, 2 to 6 pounds? If you do that, you'll likely be able to consume more calories whilst being able to maintain your total body weight. Now this contributes at least 50%, sometimes up to 65% of your total daily energy expenditure, that TDEE. And this doesn't include any activity. So this is just the amount of energy required to keep you alive. The next thing that can contribute the second most, I guess, to your total daily energy expenditure is your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Now these are activities or movements that are less conscious. So I'm moving my hands. I'm not telling myself to move my hands, it's just something that happens. How active you are during the day. Are you more likely to walk, or are you more likely to get a cab? Would you cycle somewhere? Would you get the subway? So these are all kind of lifestyle factors and things that we do subconsciously, whereas exercise is something that we plan to do. Now before we move on to exercise, let's finish talking about NEAT. So NEAT can contribute somewhere from 10 to 20% of your total daily energy expenditure, because you have such a big window of time from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed. Any activity you do between then requires energy and would fit underneath this category. Now we'll talk about exercise. Okay? We know what exercise is. Okay? We go to the gym, we go to a class, we go out for a run. It's something that we schedule. It's something that we purposely do. And it's something that we probably make ourselves do even in times when maybe we wouldn't want to. And that is good because you want to be consistent, but then that wouldn't necessarily fall underneath the NEAT, and which is why it would go under exercise. We're often doing exercise to elicit a certain adaptation and an outcome. Now the reason why exercise could be 5 to 10% and it's less than NEAT, because exercise is normally confined to a certain and a specific time, which could be anywhere from 15 to, let's say, 90 minutes. Whereas NEAT, you might be awake for 10 to 14 hours. So you just have a much bigger window of time to accumulate more total energy expended over the day versus exercise. It's a lot of effort, but calories expended is going to be limited because we only have a certain amount of time. And then last and kind of least is the thermic effect of food, which contributes around 5% to your total daily energy expenditure. Now we know that diets where higher protein and higher fiber is consumed tend to require more energy to break down those foods and tend to increase the thermic effect of food, which contributes to our metabolism. But it's only 5%, so it's not really going to make a huge difference in the short term. Now, if we look at different categories, what things do we have control over? I mean, we have control over a decent amount here within the basal metabolic rate and the thing which contributes the most to your total daily energy expenditure. But Significant changes in your body weight and your muscle mass and your lean body mass, they take a decent amount of time. Weight management, again, is over a decent period of time, and age, we can't really affect that. What we can do is we just want to make sure that it keeps going up. So these are things that are affected by our daily habits and our lifestyle and will contribute to more long-term success. Now, if we look here at NEAT and exercise, these are things that we can have an instant effect. Now, underneath NEAT, we have things like steps and recreational sports, and again, just daily movements. Like you wake up, you get out of bed, the energy required to get you out of bed would fall under that NEAT category. Now, steps, this is an interesting and sometimes a controversial activity because instructors, like myself, may tell you to have a look at your daily steps if you're tracking them and try to increase them. But now, if you're consciously and purposely trying to go out and get more steps, is that now exercise or is that actually NEAT? The real answer is it really doesn't matter. Okay? If it needs to be done, then it needs to be done. If it's going to have a positive effect, let's do it. Whether it's NEAT or exercise, who cares? But what we do see, and this is something that I want to talk about when we go into the effects that dieting and exercise has sometimes on our metabolism, is that we may be less likely to do those things that fall underneath NEAT, and they may have to shift into exercise. Otherwise, if we don't consciously do them, they're not going to get done, and we may see a decrease in metabolic rate. And I guess that's a kind of a mini example of how any decrease in your metabolism can be attributed to one of these 4 different categories. So that's just a brief overlook of the different 4 categories. Now let's start to go into some examples. So we're going to take the same individual, so who would be the same age, same body weight, same muscle mass, same lean body mass, and the same weight management. And we're going to have a couple of scenarios of their metabolism or metabolic rate changing and what we can attribute that to. Okay, so now let's look at a few examples. So we're going to say everybody has the same BMR. Now, this person number 1, basal metabolic rate. They do a lot of NEAT. Can be steps, can be daily activities, can be moving your hands while you're talking. Okay, 20%. They exercise. Let's say 4 plus times per week, and then high protein diet, high fiber diet. Boom. Now let's say, let me grab a pen. Boom. Let's say this person, is expending 2,000 calories per day. Again, this is an accumulation of the amount of energy required to keep them alive, but also the physical activities that they're doing on a day-to-day basis. Now we'll look at example 2. Same BMR, but this person doesn't really do a lot of NEAT, but they still work out 4 plus times per week. Thermic effect of food is very, very similar. So this person is on, let's say, 1,700. Now we have this person here. Again, same BMR. This person does their NEAT, but then maybe they exercise just twice a week and they have the thermic effect of food. This person is actually burning 1,800 calories per day, not per week, per day. So although this person is not exercising as much as person number 2, we see a change in their metabolism or their metabolic rate because person 3 is accumulating more NEAT. And these are things at lower levels of intensity over a longer period of time. So just simply exercising might not be the best way for us to get our metabolism as high as possible. And also the fact that you don't need to exercise in order to be allowed to consume food. And then we have this person here, person number 4, same BMR. They don't do any NEAT, they don't really do any exercise, and they don't really eat that well, maybe low protein, low fiber. So let's say that this person is consuming 1,400 calories per day. So remember, this is an example of the same person, but with different lifestyle habits. So one person not really doing much might only expend 1,400 calories. One person doing a decent amount could be 18, anywhere up to 2,000 calories per day. So if you're thinking about how that is going to impact your health and fitness goals, that's a big difference. Even this one is a significant difference. This person's exercising a lot, this person's not really, but they're doing other activities that are more simple and easier. So this person might feel like they're putting in so much effort. This person probably not so much, but this person is in a better position to maintain their body weight while consuming higher calories. If they wanted to diet, they'd likely be in a better position to create a deficit with less negative effects and less effort. So we can always attribute some changes in metabolic rate by one of these 4 categories. Now in part 2, we're going to look specifically at how someone's metabolism is affected when dieting for a fat loss or weight loss outcome. Because this is the most common scenario, especially where people assume that their metabolism is slow and or their metabolism is broken. But I just wanted to do this first video, the 101, just to give you a bit of background so that you know what we're talking about when we talk about the 4 different categories, and now you have a little bit of understanding of how increasing one might have a positive or negative effect on somebody's ability to make progress. Okay, so if you guys have any questions, then please pop them below. Please subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the latest videos. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you guys again soon.